I had to dress to the occasion. We will ignore my outfit throughout the span of this video. So, recently I really wanted to talk about the US invasion in the Iran Iraq war, right? And I was like fully prepared to talk about it. I had like a whole plan. I read like 5 articles. This is usually like my process whenever I'm trying to understand any concept. I read 4 to 5 articles. I kind of sum up what happens in a timeline, and then I either write it down somewhere or make a video explaining it. Now I guess it goes on YouTube, but anyways, just like one place where I would consolidate all the data, right? Usually, when I learn about or like try to understand certain country dynamics for GP or just in general, MU and whatever, um, one thing that I mainly focus on is just how the country is affected economically and blah blah blah. And you just, yeah, I look at the country and the invasion itself as the case study. And I recently started noticing how, while I was doing this whole Iran Iraq war thing, I kind of started noticing that I started reading more personal stories, like more of, oh, this one person, this is how this person died. And uh, I really don't want to get into it because just went down a spiral of reading a shit ton of those. And it's really sad that, like, sometimes you just need to read one specific story of what happened to one singular person, and suddenly you just have this like epiphany that it did happen to somebody, and it's not just like something that you and I just read about randomly that I come and talk about. And I don't want to be the kind of person that just randomly talks about stuff without fully understanding that all of these things really happen to people. And it takes a lot of humanity to read stories like this, and more importantly, it's not about numbers. This year I watched A Real Pain, a wonderful movie, and in that movie there's this one scene. I think Benji is the one that says it. They go to the cemetery. They
It's hard to know whether the Jewish community was drawn to Lublin
Benji.
because of these local
Benji.
virtues.
Yo, James.
Oh shit. Benji.
Hey,
Benji.
James.
Benji. Benji.
Hey, man. Hey,
You're right, Benji.
look, man, you're like completely knowledgeable about this shit, and it's fucking, it's impressive, man. And we all know that now and everything. But like these are real people, James. You know, they're not your little factoids lying in here. Okay, they're not history lessons.
Benji.
Just
please.
hey, maybe like take a
Sorry.
seat. Text your wife.
Sorry if I
Second,
said
got it.
something to upset
No,
you.
no, no,
or-
no. Look, you know your shit. Don't get me wrong. And Lowe's, you like totally know your shit. But I think it's just the constant barrage of stats. It's making this whole thing feel very cold. You know?
Okay. I'm sorry. Maybe it's just my British tone or
I'm
something.
just trying to be honest. If it helps to have feedback, that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
And I just think
Okay.
a major problem with your tour,
Oh my god.
if I can just, this is okay? This is a free space?
Okay.
I just think we've been like completely cut off from anything that's like fucking, like real, you know?
each of those people had their own stories. Don't narrow them down to just numbers. And I don't want to be the kind of place where I explain something to you and it just becomes fact stating and you understand something and you write it in an exam, or you just understand something for an MUN research paper, whatever you use this information for, right? I want this place to feel like a place that comes out of empathy, to feel like a place that really is rooted in humanity, because sometimes you have to think about it. I recently read Martyr. This is an amazing book, and uh, it is technically, the author is somebody that's gone through the Iran Iraq war himself, and to know that that book comes out of that suffering is just, it's crazy to me, because it's so easy to think, oh, this is like not really wiry. Like, I'm the fiction itself, of course, is fully separate from me studying about the Iran Iraq war, but it happened to real people, and it pertains the feeling of the guilt. I mean, I guess the survival guilt. I don't know if it's survival, but the feeling of, oh, what made them deserve to go through that, and what made me privileged enough not to do so. Because if all is fair, this is not supposed to be this way. And it's not all fair. That's eventually where you'll come to, and like in understanding. But as sad as it is, these are real people, these are real stories, and treat them with compassion. Whether that is history that you study, whether that is random piece of news that you decide to watch, and it really puts things into perspective. Yeah, I'm gonna stop yapping now. Thank you so much for listening. I just wanted to come on here to talk about that.